Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Needless to say, of all the many things that the FBI investigates, I think we feel, and I've felt this way since I was a line prosecutor, that human trafficking is one of the most horrific. And I certainly agree with the sentiments and observations that have already been expressed, that we're talking about a vicious and appalling cycle in which victims of human trafficking are held against their will, often beaten or starved and coerced to perform sex work or forced labor under threats of blackmail or violence. What makes this so much worse and even more heartbreaking is that scores and scores of these victims are children. And as has been said, human trafficking is, of course, a global scourge, but it's everywhere, including right here in our backyard in the United States, which is, of course, our principal focus. At the FBI, we're working hard with our partners, both in law enforcement and nonprofits, to fight back. And together, we're sending the message that if you harm the most vulnerable among us, you will forfeit your right to live freely in this country. At the FBI, we investigate all forms of human trafficking, regardless of the victim's age, gender, or nationality. I should say that on our end, about 95% of our human trafficking cases involve sex trafficking, while about 5% involve labor trafficking, recognizing that many who have already spoken focus more on the labor side. Our overall human trafficking caseload has increased significantly in the past several years. Every single one of our 56 field offices has encountered human trafficking in their areas, which tells you a lot about how pervasive this is, even right here in the United States. And last fiscal year, the FBI arrested 786 traffickers. That's 786 traffickers, each with scores of victims, in 1 year. And as of this month, we have more than 1,700 active human trafficking investigations. In addition to our investigative and law enforcement work, a big part of our work also focuses on victims. We find them, rescue them, and our victim specialists work to get them the help they need to recover and rebuild their lives. That includes helping them with everything from getting access to food, clothing, housing, translation services, and support throughout the legal proceedings, which can, in their own right, be incredibly stressful. We also have child and adolescent forensic interviewers who are specially trained to account in our interviews for the development, potential trauma, and mental health of young victims. Going forward, we're, of course, going to be doing our part to carry out the National Action Plan to combat human trafficking. We're going to continue to work human trafficking cases across our entire enterprise, ensuring that we follow as you said, Mr. Secretary, a victim-centric, trauma-informed approach. And we're going to keep doing all of that, working hand in hand with our partners to continuously update our training, strengthen our investigations and prosecutions, and develop more effective strategies to combat these horrific crimes and make those who perpetrate them pay the price, not only by holding them accountable through criminal conviction and punishment, but also by seizing the proceeds of trafficking and seeking forfeiture of their assets. Our mission at the FBI is to protect the American people, and protecting kids in particular, the most vulnerable among us, is what drives so many in the FBI to join in the first place. And it's work that inspires us and drives us, and we're proud to do it. And we're thankful for the help of our many partners, and we're going to keep doing this work for as long as it takes. So thank you, Mr. Secretary.